All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And as always, double honors to our apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And just real quick, I wanted to do a response video, especially for, Jakes or whatever who want to make it in this society. They want to sell their soul, to the devil, which are the biblical Edomites, which is the self-proclaimed white man, which starts with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of the nation and people, just to show you got to do some nasty work in order to make it in this society, in order to get those riches, in order to get those fames and popularity. You have to do some disgusting stuff that will scar your mind for the rest of your life. Okay, which ultimately leads to transgression against the Heavenly Father. Because the things which the Heavenly Father commanded us not to do, which He have, kept us away from originally in the Garden of Eden, you have to practice these things so you can understand. Okay, and these things, these wicked actions that you have to do, it is all tied back to human, it is all tied back to idols. All manner of wickedness, no matter what type of sin or wickedness it is all tied back to idols, some way or another. You even got idols that specialize in rebellion against the Heavenly Father and His Son. Britney Spears exposes Beyonce as the Illuminati witch who killed her baby. And Britney Spears is a hypocrite because she's also a Illuminati witch. Okay? You don't think that she had to get up there in society without doing something degrading? Okay, and a matter of fact, I bet in order for Britney Spears to get her fame and popularity, okay, she had to have trains ran on her. Okay, all three holes covered. Okay, just having trains ran on her. Okay, commit adultery, blowing rod. She probably had to eat fetus, drink blood. Okay, so she's not that innocent. Just like she said in her own music. A stunning voice note has surfaced on Britney Spears' social media, exposing the hidden religion of the entertainment industry elite. Okay? And the word religion, which goes back to the Greek word, no, it goes back to the Latin word religio, which means to bind. And basically, the entertainment world is where all those go to who desire to become rich, popular, show the world their talents, their skills. And basically live the easy life. However, in order to do that, you have to do some effed up stuff, man. Okay? So it says, and most dangerously naming A-list names personally involved in child sacrifice ceremonies. Okay. And you know, you know, more than likely Britney Spears had her baby sacrificed on purpose in order to get the fame, the popularity, and where she's at today. So we're gonna go to First Timothy here. And let me see. Trying to figure this out. Maybe verse 4. Okay, First Timothy 6 and 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Okay, let's real quick. Let's read this in the NLT, because many that would have the desire to be rich will fall into temptation, because your lust and your desire for wanting to be high up in society, to live in these rich mansions, to have 10 different cars and be decked out in jewelry, to be idolized and worshipped as an idol. Okay? There's some things in life that you normally would not do that you would do just to get to that state. Okay? First Timothy 6 and 9 in the NLT. But people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many foolish and hurtful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction. Okay? And indeed, you're when you practice these wicked things in order to maintain your status, you bring yourself ever so closer to ruin and destruction, which ultimately can lead to you being sacrificed. It can lead to you being plagued with demons, which will lead to you being strung out on drugs. It can lead to you, overdosing, So it says, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And some people craving money have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. With that, I'm going to say shalom, is on to the next one.